reveal the fact that Alien Covenant is in my top 10 worst, but not the Emoji Movie.
I mean, honestly,
Possible.
everybody's got an opinion. Respect your opinion, Double Nine.
Oh shit, we're live. Hi everyone.
Yeah, I personally really liked Alien Covenant, and the shit that I took 5 minutes ago is better than Emoji Movie.
All right then. So we are live.
Hello. We are live.
We are. Hello everyone. Welcome to this podcast regarding the top 5 Matt Damon films. Why are we doing this? Because on Friday the movie Suburbicon came out, and just for the record, that movie is a huge box office bomb. I mean, if you have seen the box office results for that movie, god damn, it is awful. I can't believe how bad the box office results are for that movie.
I mean, I haven't seen Suburbicon, but if it's as bad as people are saying it is, that's disappointing because it's written by the Coen brothers, stars Matt Damon, and is directed by George Clooney.
And the trailer impressed me too. I saw the trailer. I was like, that looks really
really enjoyed the trailer.
Yeah. So, but in any case, we'll be talking about the best Matt Damon films in order to honor, that film. So, joining me are these two gentlemen who you've seen many, many times on this podcast. So, if you guys want to make introductions, you can. I mean,
hey, what's up, you guys? Film Fan 0599 here again. Yeah, I'm back again. Hi, surprise, but no. How's everybody doing? I'm here to do the top 5 favorite Matt Damon films. Matt Damon is one of my personal favorite actors. He is truly an incredible actor. Gave out so many great performances and has done so many great films. And it's going to be exciting to talk about some of his best.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. And hey, Andrew.
I think the question is not how many podcasts will I be on, it's how many podcasts will it take for people to finally get tired of me.
Yes.
All right, so in the live chat we got Nick Canino. What's up, Nick? MC Deadpool. Look at MC Deadpool says, he's like, yes, these two beautiful gentlemen and Double Nine.
Hey, listen, MC Deadpool said it wrong. What he meant to say was these two beautiful gentlemen and Diego Coya.
Yeah, because I'm like, the most beautiful out of all of us. So
yes, of course, yeah, because that's exactly what I meant by that.
I'm the exception, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the exception. You're.
I'm the exception in terms of like being beyond.
Beyond, like you break the fucking scale. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nick just said something. Hey, Diego, I decided to delay the podcast I was planning to do for 1 more hour since I'm watching a podcast. You guys, oh, Nick, that's really nice. Thank you.
Yes. You're the man, Nick.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome, dude. That means a lot. Thank you. All right, so yeah, Matt Damon. So I do have some honorable mentions. Like the last 2 weeks, I did top 10 lists because the Steven Spielberg list and the Robert De Niro list was so hard to make. But I didn't find this list to be that hard to make, so I'll just say a couple of films that I love, just didn't make the list. The first one I'm going to mention, I'll mention this film. It won't make my top 5 for a specific reason. Interstellar. I love Interstellar. I know it's a polarizing film from Christopher Nolan, but Matt Damon's not really in it that much. So, I mean, if he was a really big part of it, it would be in my top 5. That's how much I like it. But to be fair, I want to give other movies a chance that he has a big role in. So I won't be mentioning Interstellar in my top 5. My next one is Ocean's 11. I really like the movie. I'm not in love with it like other people, but I do very much enjoy it. My next one is. My next one,
it was fine. I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, I did have a lot of fun watching it, but do I think it's one of the greatest crime films ever made? Personally, no, but I did enjoy it. My next honorable mention is True Grit, the remake directed by the Coen brothers. That was a damn good film, and Haley Steinfeld was awesome in it, and Matt Damon and Jeff Bridges. Really good Coen brothers movie. And The Bourne Identity, fantastic film. Over on Blu-ray, seen it so many times. The Bourne Supremacy, the second one. And that's all the movies I can think of. So those are my honorable mentions. All right, Double Nine, do you have any honorable mentions?
I have a few. I have Titan AE, which is an animated film he did. It's really good. It's very underrated.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I saw that a long time ago though.
Yeah,
like,
that was him and Drew Barrymore, and you know the movie was actually a box office failure, and it shut down Fox's animated studio company that they had.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I remember.
Mhm.
But it's actually a really good movie. I really like it a lot. Ocean's 11. Let's see, what was the one? We Bought a Zoo, Contagion, and the last one. Oh yeah, The Bourne, Supremacy, Ultimatum, and Jason Bourne. Those are my honorable mentions.
Yeah, you mentioned Contagion. That's actually a good one. That's underappreciated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. And Elysium. Elysium is great.
Ew.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was all right. I still think Neil Blomkamp's best film is easily still District 9. But Andrew, do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I got a couple. Like you, Interstellar. As great as the film as it is, he's not in it all that much. So I like.
Yeah.
Here. I have also True Grit. Fantastic film.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the original, but I want to.
The original's really good too, with John Wayne.
John Wayne.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
John Wayne's the man. And I got The Bourne Supremacy and The Bourne Ultimatum.
Oh, okay. All right. So with that being said, let's get started. So I'll go first. Double Nine, you can go second. Andrew, you can go third. And if we have the same, number 5, number 4, just join in the conversation, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so I'll start with number 5. My number 5 is a film that I mentioned in another podcast. This is one of his most recent films, and that is The Martian. The Martian was released in 2015. I mentioned this movie in my top 5 Ridley Scott podcast. If you had seen that podcast, you would know that was my number 4 favorite Ridley Scott movie. So I'll just recap what I said briefly. It was one of the best movies of that year. I thought it was an excellent science fiction film. It had a lot more comedy than I expected it to have, and it was actually really funny. The performances from everyone is excellent, but I think Matt Damon gives the best performance of everyone in the entire cast. Matt Damon gives one of his very best performances too. He's hilarious when he delivers on a drama. He delivers. And in terms of like him surviving on Mars and just seeing the whole, how he's dealing with the situation, any person would, be miserable and be like in a constant state of like, what the hell is going on? Not to say Matt Damon wasn't wondering what was going on, but he was trying to make the best out of the situation. And I thought that was fascinating to see. The visual effects are phenomenal. It's a long movie, but throughout the runtime, I was constantly entertained and engaged in its story. And I loved it. I think it's not only one of Ridley Scott's best movies, but one of Matt Damon's best films as well. If you haven't seen The Martian, I would definitely recommend it. It was one of my favorite movies of 2015, and I think it's one of the best science fiction films to come out this decade, meaning from 2010 till now. So
yes,
I would highly recommend The Martian. It's my number 5 favorite Matt Damon film. Okay, Double Nine, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is my favorite in this certain action franchise. And I know a lot of people's favorite is Ultimatum, but this is my personal favorite of the series, and that is The Bourne Identity.
That is also my number 5.
Oh, look at that.
The Bourne Identity is, to me, the best side of the series. I really do think so, because I just love how it kind of starts off. When, like, you see this guy, he has no clue where he is, he's kind of forgetting stuff, but he has these special set of skills. And just seeing him piece by piece everything in that first movie is fantastic. I loved seeing that. It was really great. And he takes his woman along with him too, which I actually didn't think the relationship was actually forced. I actually thought the relationship in the movie was actually well handled. I actually thought it was genuine. It was great to watch. Actually, this movie has a great car chase sequence, probably one of my favorites. Honestly, I love the car chase sequence in Bourne Identity. Also, Clive Owen is also in this. He plays a really good villain as well in this. And I love that scene with him in the woods with him and Matt Damon. That was fantastic. And honestly, to me, this movie has the best action out of any of the ones in the series. To me, I love the action in this one. And especially, probably my favorite action scene in the whole movie is when I think he's in a bank, I believe, and just him trying to escape out of there is great. I really love that a lot. And Doug Liman, which I still think this is his best movie to date, it does a fantastic job directing the film as well. The way he handles all the action sequences, choreographing them and stuff like that. It's really great. So yeah, The Bourne Identity, without question, is my favorite in the Bourne series, and it's my 5th favorite Matt Damon film. So yeah, Bourne Identity comes in at my number 5.
All right, and Andrew, why is The Bourne Identity your number 5?
I agree. I do also think that it's the best out of 3 Bourne movies, or the original, the first 3. Why I really like it is because I like how you find out stuff as he's finding out stuff. So everything is just a big of a mystery to you as it is to him. And I just really love that aspect of the film. I love how the story is told. The direction in this is fantastic. I do agree. I do think it has the best action out of the 3. And I do agree. The romance isn't forced. I really do enjoy the romance. I think best performance out of the 3. And just like I said, I just love the way the story is told. I do really love Supremacy and Ultimatum a lot. And it's just above the rest to me. And it is my number 5.
All right, so that was our number 5. Now we're on to number 4.
Number 4.
My number 4 is my personal favorite in the Bourne trilogy, and that is The Bourne Ultimatum. Now, I know you guys say that The Bourne Identity is your guys' favorite, and believe me, I love The Bourne Identity. I think it's a fantastic action film. But for me, The Ultimatum is the best one. And the reason why I say that is because it's the one that I was more invested in the story. You know, at this point, we're trying to find out how David Webb became Jason Bourne. And I thought the story was just awesome. You know, it was full of a lot of twists and turns when you find out certain things. And I thought Paul Greengrass directed Supremacy and Ultimatum. And I was telling Double Nine this before the podcast, was being aired live. And I feel like Paul Greengrass is like probably the only director that knows how to do shaky cam really well. And while this film does have shaky cam, I still thought that the action scenes were amazing. Like there's this one fight scene where he's fighting in a house with this guy where, he jumps on the window.
Yeah.
Then, like that scene was badass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's not just an action movie though. It's not just an action movie. It's a thriller. And, it's very suspenseful. It has awesome action scenes. Has fantastic writing. And it's not just a great action movie, but it's a great film in general. And that's what I really think these 3 films are. Not just great action movies, but even if like you're not a fan of action films, I really feel like you can enjoy the Bourne movies because of the acting and how well crafted these movies are. I remember I saw this movie in theaters too, because when A Bourne Identity and A Bourne Supremacy came out, I didn't really go to the movies that much when I was that young, so I watched them on DVD. I saw The Bourne Ultimatum in theaters, and I remember being so mesmerized like at what I was watching. So, and it was on like my top 5 of that year, best of 2007. If you're wondering what my number 1 was, it was No Country for Old Men, but Bourne Ultimatum is in my top 5 of that year. So, yeah, it's my favorite action film from Matt Damon. So, and anyone who says Identity is the best, I can totally understand why. I mean, again, I love that one. I love Supremacy. But to me, I feel like this joins along the ranks of Return of the King, War for Planet of the Apes, Toy Story 3 as the best of the trilogy, as the 3rd best movie of the trilogy. So that's just me, though. And, yeah, I love The Bourne Ultimatum so much. So if you haven't seen any Bourne film, watch them. They're awesome. Yeah, Bourne Ultimatum is my number 4.
I just realized I haven't seen a single Bourne movie in theaters. Because I wasn't really because I'll say this. What got me into movies was The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight didn't come out to 2008, so I didn't really go to the movies unless it was something like stupid. And and I was not very interested in seeing The Bourne Legacy in theaters. And Jason Bourne, I just missed in theaters. So
Oh, I'm sorry. One thing actually a little fun fact about Bourne Ultimatum I forgot to mention before I let you guys go. It's the only film that's been nominated for the Oscars out of these Bourne films, and it did a clean sweep. For the 3 Oscars it was nominated for, it won all 3 Oscars.
Yeah, Damon won Best Film Editing, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't like best, and like best sound or something stupid.
Yeah,
like
it said Best Film Editing, Best Sound Editing, and I forgot what the other one was, but it won 3 for 3. And MC Deadpool says Matt Damon doesn't like the Bourne Ultimatum. I did not know that. I
did not know that either.
Yeah, but I don't know why he doesn't. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. So. All right, so I guess it's time for my number 4. My number 4, I mentioned this movie during the Steven Spielberg podcast, and I'm going to mention it here again, Saving Private Ryan. This movie, I'm going to basically echo what I said in the Steven Spielberg podcast. It's amazing. It's the greatest war film ever made. It really is. From the way it's shot to the way, Steven Spielberg directs it, from the acting. And Matt Damon gives a really great performance in the film. He really does. That's why I feel like sometimes people don't give him enough credit for this movie, really. Because, they're looking at everything else. But he really does give a great performance in the movie. And the movie does, the story does revolve around him. I mean, it's in the dang title of the movie. And he does a really great job, and he really is fantastic at the film. And, just that scene when him and Tom Hanks are talking to each other is great. It's probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. So, yeah, Saving Private Ryan. Don't really have much to say because I kind of expressed it all in the Steven Spielberg one, but it's a fantastic movie. If you've never seen it before, please see it. Great, great movie. So, yeah, my number 4, Saving Private Ryan.
All right. Andrew, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is The Martian.
Nice.
Like Diego said, this was actually a very surprising movie, a surprisingly funny movie considering the circumstances. According to the Golden Globes, it is the funniest comedy of.
That should not have been nominated for Best Comedy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it has comedic elements, but it's not a comedy. It's a drama.
Oh yeah, yes. It's not a comedy. It's
a science fiction drama, is what it is.
Yeah.
But still, nonetheless, it's honestly, that's why I don't take the fucking Golden Globe seriously. But Jesus Christ, what was I saying? Oh, but yeah, no, it's a great film. I think it's it's probably my second favorite Damon performance. I'll get to what my favorite is a little later on. But this could have been a very depressing movie. But it wasn't, and that's what I really like about it. It could have been just sad and melodramatic and depressing, but it's very surprisingly lighthearted at times, very, very funny, and like Diego said, Matt Damon makes the best out of the situation when a lot of people would just be freaking out and just not knowing what to do. And I love it when he goes, "I'm going to science the shit out of this."
Yeah, that's a great line.
Yes,
and just there's so many great lines by Matt Damon where he's like, "Oh, I'm a space pirate," and how he explains how he's a space pirate, and the Iron Man reference in this is great. It's just a very good movie, and when they finally see each other at the end, it's great. It's my number 4.
All right, so that was our number 4. Now we're on to number 3. My number 3 is a film that came out 20 years ago, believe it or not. My number 3 is Good Will Hunting.
That's my number 3 as well.
Yeah. This is one hell of a movie, I got to tell you. This is an incredible film. I mean, this is one of the best written films I've ever seen. I love the screenplay for this movie so much. It is actually also written by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and they should write more movies together, honestly.
Yes.
The dialogue in this movie is so excellent, and there's so many scenes where characters have monologues, and I could watch them over and over and over again, not only because of how the actors delivered their monologues, but because of how well written they are.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, for those who haven't seen it, but Robin Williams has some monologues. When he's talking to Matt Damon when they're sitting in front of the this little lake and in the park, and another one is towards the end where Matt Damon and Robin Williams are talking, and it's some emotional stuff. And Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have a one-on-one conversation towards the end. It's a really great movie. The first 40 minutes was really good. I mean, it felt like a comedy. You see Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and they're all doing shit like getting into a fight, and Matt Damon just owning a guy in a bar, which is one of the best scenes in the movie. But then when he meets Robin Williams' character, you know, it all changes from there, and in a good way too. You know, it changes in a good way. Like it really shifts from a comedy to a drama, but it transforms that. It like, how do I say it? It becomes a comedy to a drama, but it does the transition really well.
Yes.
And, yeah, it's one of those movies that it's so heavily reliant on dialogue, but you're so invested in the film. And this is one of Matt Damon's best performances too. I mean, he was not. This movie was so big at the Oscars that year. I know,
which I'm happy about.
Yeah, no, definitely. Robin Williams won the Oscar, rightfully so. He was phenomenal in it. He was the best actor in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt Damon as well, he was really good. One of his better performances too. This is like, you know, when he was a lot younger. And Minnie Jones, who played his girlfriend in the movie, and she was great too.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I would have had this. I would have rather picked this over Titanic over Best Picture.
Without question.
Don't get me wrong, I like Titanic, but I think this is a better film. And Boogie Nights came out that year too. Another great one.
Yeah. And LA Confidential.
I still got to see that. I got to see
Great movie. Great movie.
I got to see that at some point. But no, Good Will Hunting, phenomenal movie without question. I mean, it's got the comedy, it's got the drama, it's got phenomenal writing, it has great characters, and I think it's a movie that everyone should see. It's one of those movies that could have been Oscar bait. You know, I feel like a movie like this could come out this year, and then, you know, someone could make it boring and pretentious and Oscar bait. But, you know, you can have a topic like this and have a talented cast be behind it, and you can make it one of the most riveting films you'll ever see. So.
Exactly. The way Matt Damon and Ben Affleck write this movie, they write it in a way where it's, you know, not like that at all.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, every conversation feels so natural, and you're like, wow, yeah, this is exactly how they would talk. You know what I mean? So that is my number 3. And Double Nine, you can, anything else you didn't say, you can add on.
Yeah, this movie, basically you kind of said everything I was going to say. It's phenomenal. It really is. It's truly an incredible movie. Like, I really love Good Will Hunting a lot. Just from the conversations, like with Matt Damon and Robin Williams, the "It's Not Your Fault" scene is like my favorite scene in the entire movie. Just that is phenomenal. Robin Williams, like you said, he gives the best performance in the entire film. But Matt Damon is really fantastic too here. I really do think he gives a tremendous performance. The movie, I agree with you. It has one of the best screenplays I've ever seen for a film. It's really great. The writing and the dialogue with this movie is fantastic. So, yeah, I really love the movie a lot. It's truly an incredible film. Should have won Best Picture to me. It really should have won Best Picture. And it's just incredible. If you've never seen Good Will Hunting, go see it. What a tremendous movie.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, Andrew, what is your number 3?
Excuse me. Honestly, though, before I say what my number 3 is, the next 3 movies, it was kind of really tough placing where these 3 would go. They're both perfect movies. All 3 of these movies are perfect movies in my opinion. And my number 3 is Saving Private Ryan.
All right.
Or obviously, it's more of a Tom Hanks film. Matt Damon is in it, and my favorite part is Matt Damon in it, where Matt Damon and Tom Hanks are having and he's like, "No, I'm staying here because there's I have left." That's such moment, such an emotional moment. You know, just throughout.
Is he cutting out, or is it just me?
I think he's
throughout the
cutting
movie.
out.
Like, there's where, you know, what?
I think you're cutting out. Like, keep on cutting in and out.
Yeah.
How do I sound now?
You're good. You're good.
All right. What did
No, I can't hear
the
anything.
last thing you heard?
Yeah.
I heard you were saying I don't remember. Just keep talking because I just keep saying what you were saying. I don't exactly remember what was the last thing you said, but
Okay. Even you could still feel his film, and just the presence he has in the film and his character and how important his character is.
yeah, Matt Damon's like an integral part of the movie. I mean, I don't know why.
Finally, Matt Damon, right? And at the end, you know, it's so amazing. All right, that's my number 3.
All right, so that was our number 3. Now we're on to
Number 2 already.
number 2. Now this was hard, and I'll tell you why. Because my number 1 and 2 are like in my top 20 films of all time. No lie. So if I could make a tie, I would, but I'll be fair. And again, this was really hard. So, all right, my number 2. My number 2 is the poster right there, The Departed.
Yes.
This is a masterpiece of a film. I mentioned this film in the Mark Wahlberg podcast. That was actually my number 1 favorite Mark Wahlberg film. I love this film. It has so great rewatchability, and it's just a perfect film, in my opinion. I can't point out a single flaw in this film.
Because there isn't.
There's some people who think it's overrated. I'm like, I don't get it at all. Like,
I don't get it either.
To me, it did everything perfect, and it has one of the best acting ensembles like ever. I mean, you have Mark Wahlberg, you have
sorry about that.
That's fine. You have Leonardo DiCaprio and you have Jack Nicholson. All of them which equally give out Oscar-worthy performances. I mean,
Yes.
they were all phenomenal, and I'm so glad Scorsese finally won his first Oscar for this movie because
it's wonderful.
Yeah, which is wonderful because he directed the shit out of this movie.
Yes,
and
he did.
This was one of those few times during the Oscars where my favorite movie of the year actually won Best Picture. And that's not saying a lot because 2006 was a phenomenal year. Like if you just go on Google, type in 2006 movies, you'll be amazed how many great that year.
Is The Departed? This is your number 2?
Yes.
All right, it's my number 2 as well.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I think it's just a perfect movie. I don't want to say too because I talked about this in Mark Wahlberg podcast. So what I will say is it has one of the most surprising death scenes ever made. I mean, when that one death scene.
Oh yeah.
When it was in the elevator, my jaw was literally on the floor. I couldn't believe it. And it's just one of those movies that it's 2.5 hours long, but you don't care it's 2.5 hours long. Like you can be in this, you can just watch the movie for like 4 hours and you wouldn't care because of how good the pacing and the characters and the writing and everything is. And Jack Nicholson should have won an Oscar for this movie. I mean,
it's honestly baffling that I mean, no discredit to Mark Wahlberg because he was fantastic, but there honestly should have been more acting nominations for The Departed because the fact that Mark Wahlberg was the only one is absurd because Jack Nicholson is great. DiCaprio is great, and Damon is great. Alec Baldwin is great in this too.
Yeah, even Anthony Anderson, he's like really good in it as well.
Yeah, Anthony Anderson of all people was actually really good in this too.
Yeah, this is one of the absolute best crime dramas I've ever seen. I know this is a remake of Internal Affairs.
Yes.
Right? Okay, yeah, I actually have not seen that. But The Departed is one of my absolute favorite movies, and it's one of my absolute favorite Martin Scorsese films as well. You need to see The Departed right away if you have not seen The Departed. You are missing out on one of the best films you'll ever see in your life. I mean, holy moly, this is one of my absolute favorite films of all time. And I could talk about why I love this movie in details, but I won't do that. So, Andrew, you take the floor and you say why The Departed is your number 2.
Pretty much what you said. It's just fantastic writing and acting all across the board. It probably is my favorite Scorsese film.
Wow.
It's either, yeah, it's either this or Wolf of Wall Street, but I'd probably have to rewatch both and then come up with a decision. But yeah, no, and just the story is very, very interesting. And it absolutely has one of the best final shots, if not the best final shots in all of film, with the rat.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the rat is just a big symbolism towards for this film, and honestly, it works great. What it symbolizes and whatnot, and I really like that. And yeah, no, there's not really much I could say because I did say a lot in the Wahlberg podcast, and you already said a lot. So, you know, it's my number 2.
All right. 99, your number 2?
My number 2. My number 2, this was mentioned frequently throughout the podcast, and I'm going to finally mention it now. The Martian.
Oh. Nice.
The Martian is incredible. This was in my top 5 of 2015. This movie is an incredible sci-fi film. I love this movie more than both Gravity and Interstellar, honestly.
Gravity is overrated as fuck.
I like it more than Gravity, but I just prefer slightly Interstellar over The Martian. But they're both phenomenal.
Yeah. But it's such an incredible movie. If you've never seen, what I love the most about this movie is that it mostly relies on Matt Damon. For the most part, really, this is what this movie relies on. And it's great seeing him, like, you know, trying to figure out how to get off, you know, survive on Mars all by himself. It's great. Like you mentioned earlier, like that line, I'm gonna science the shit out of this. And that's exactly what he does in this movie. And it's great to witness on screen. I love it. Like, and he gives one of his best performances of his entire career. He's really fantastic. And the visual effects are fantastic with this movie, too. I really love the visual effects with the movie. They look fantastic. Ridley Scott did a fantastic job directing the movie. And the rest of the cast is really good, too. This has, you want to talk about ensemble cast. The cast with this is really fantastic, too. Like, I thought the ensemble cast was great to this as well. So, yeah, The Martian is such an incredible movie. If you haven't seen it, go out and see it. It's a fantastic movie. So, yeah, The Martian, my number 2.
All right, so that was our number 2. And now we're on to our favorite or our best Matt Damon film. Okay, so like I said, it was very hard. I really wish there was a tie between The Departed and this movie, but if I have to say objectively which one I think it's better, I think this ever so slightly. So my number 1 favorite is a film these two gentlemen have already mentioned, and that is Saving Private Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
This was also my number 1 for the top 5 Steven Spielberg films. But to those who say this is not really a Matt Damon movie, I say bullshit, and I'll tell you why. Because, yes, Tom Hanks is essentially like the main actor, and he's like, you know, in it throughout the whole film. But when Matt Damon shows up, he's in it for like maybe the last hour or a little bit over an hour. And the name of the movie is Saving Private Ryan. The movie's about saving Matt Damon's character.
Well, yes, it could be talking about the other Private Ryan, Diego.
Oh, Nathan.
Yes, Nathan Fillion.
Hey, he was. Well, actually, that small role he had, he was great in.
Yeah, I know. Cool. Yeah. It was cool to see him in that small role, actually.
Yeah. And no, but this is just a perfect movie. Like, this is just one of the best films you'll ever see. And like Double Nine said, probably the best war film ever made. The first 20, 25 minutes is like a horror film, you know, with like that gory war scene. And like people are just dying and limbs are flying everywhere. And it's so graphic to watch. And rather than some people saying it glorifies war, I see it as in like Spielberg is trying to show the horror of war.
Exactly.
Showing how awful it can be. And it's such a phenomenal drama too. Like, it's not just, the movie's not just good because of the war scenes and how well executed, you know, those war scenes are. it's because of the characters, the character development, the conversations that Tom Hanks has with his with the people, with his troops, or the conversation Tom Hanks has with Matt Damon, that one scene. And just everything about this film is just a masterpiece, just absolutely perfect. I don't want to go on too long because I've already talked about it in the Spielberg podcast. So all I'll say is this: if you have not seen Saving Private Ryan, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you have to see it right away. This is a Matt Damon movie. I mean, granted, he's not the #1 main actor, but he's so important to the movie, and he's so good in it too. Like the last hour, I mean, the time Matt Damon's in it, every second he makes it count, and he's awesome. And it's one of the most emotional films you ever see too. I mean, that ending though,
yeah,
it's crazy, but it's one hell of a movie. I mean, it's one of those movies that even 50 years from now, people are still going to be talking about Saving Private Ryan because of how amazing it is. So
yes,
that's pretty much why Saving Private Ryan is my #1 favorite film with Matt Damon in it. So, number 9, what is your number 1?
My number 1. Oh man, I remember so clearly seeing this movie for the first time because I was getting back into movies, and I saw the DVD downstairs in my basement. I was like, Dad, we're watching this. I heard so many things about this movie. We're watching it. And it was from a well-known man called Martin Scorsese. And I popped in. We watched it. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And that is The Departed.
Yeah.
The Departed is my favorite Matt Damon movie. His performance in this movie is truly great. I love him in this film. And this movie is literally like a perfect movie.
Oh,
honest to God, it truly is a perfect movie.
There's not a single thing
that's wrong with this. The movie's 2.5 hours long. I was never bored once.
Never.
I was so invested. With this movie. It is so great. I love The Departed. This has one of the best ensemble casts I've ever seen to a movie. Everyone gives a fantastic performance, from, like I said, Matt Damon to Leonardo DiCaprio to Mark Wahlberg to Jack Nicholson. Everything is great. Like you mentioned earlier, that shocking death, that comes out of nowhere. Literally out of nowhere. I was like, what the hell? It's great. It really is. And this is actually probably my favorite Martin Scorsese movie. Probably my personal favorite. It's so brilliant. It really is. It's one of the best. It might be the best crime thriller I think I've ever seen. I really have to think about it, but this might be the best crime thriller I've ever seen because it's so investive, and the characters are great. The performances are fantastic. The dialogue is fantastic with the movie. I love the dialogue with the film too. And I'm so glad this movie got so much Oscar recognition.
Yeah.
I'm actually really glad it did. And one of the congratulations. You didn't fuck up this time.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. You didn't fuck up this time. I'm glad. This is definitely one of the best picture winners without question.
Absolutely.
And it's a movie that is just truly, truly incredible. It's definitely one of my favorites, and it's without question my favorite Matt Damon movie. So yeah, The Departed, my number 1.
All right. And Andrew, what is your number 1?
My number 1 is a film. I think, both of you mentioned this film. It is Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, I can definitely see why too. That's another incredible one.
Yeah, like you guys said, it is one of the best scripts probably ever, and it's amazing. How Matt Damon and Ben Affleck actually wrote it. Honestly, one of my favorite Family Guy bits is when Matt Damon's writing the script, and then they just show Ben Affleck smoking pot on the couch.
Yeah,
I think that's hilarious. But,
yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
But yeah, like I said, it's probably my favorite Matt Damon performance, and it's most certainly my favorite performance by personally one of my favorite actors, Robin Williams.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Honestly, like for real. Robin Williams is an inspiration of mine. So like,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, no, it's just his character. Like, it's just so emotional, and the story that he tells about how he could have went to the Red Sox game, but he stayed and got to talk to this girl
Yeah.
that's so emotional because of what end up happening to his wife in the movie. But it's still so emotional, and on how like it really like shows how like great of a man Robin Williams' character is in the movie. You know,
Yeah.
and just like you said, so many great monologues in this film, especially the one where the one where they're sitting on the bench, and he's talking about because Matt Damon's character has is it the highest IQ someone can have, but
He's a genius.
Yeah, he's a genius. But he goes, you don't know what it's, about one of the things that I can remember is he goes, you can tell me everything there is to know about Michelangelo painting the Vatican, but you don't know what it's like to be in the Vatican and look up and see what he painted.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a terrific dialogue scene because he goes on and on.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, you don't know what you may have, got laid a couple times, but you don't know what it's like to be loved by somebody. To love he goes, you don't know what it's like to love someone more than yourself.
Yeah, another thing he says too, it's like you may tell me about war, the stories you read, but you never been in a battlefield, holding your best friend's hand and watching him die as he's looking at you for help.
And honestly, I mean, I know I love Matt Damon. I love all the characters in this film, but Robin Williams' character in particular, really, like, it just I not that I connect with it really, but like his character is my favorite just because of what just for who he is. Like, Robin Williams' character is such a good person in this movie, and for what he wants the best for Matt Damon's character, and. When he's arguing with the professor, it's one of the Skarsgårds play him. I forget which one.
Yeah, is it? Oh my God! Someone in the chat might know who is, because that actor's in so many movies.
Honestly, there's just so many Skarsgårds. I
know.
We lose count at this point.
I know there's Alex Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård, and whatever.
Bill.
Peter, even though he's not related to any of them.
No, it's not Alexander, is it?
No, it's not Alex. I don't think it's Alex Skarsgård. But whatever Skarsgård plays, which I'm looking up right now. Oh, Stellan Skarsgård. That's which one.
Okay.
All right. So that's Skarsgård, Mr. Skarsgård. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, Stellan. Thank you, guys. Yeah, Stellan.
So I'm just gonna call him Mr. Skarsgård.
All right.
Just the argument that like the conversation that Mr. Skarsgård and Robin Williams has in the bar, it's just fantastic because Mr. Skarsgård, just because he sees Matt Damon as a genius, which he is, and he's like, he should do this, but he's like, he should get this job because it's really going to help him. But Robin Williams is like, no, he should live life because it's what's most important. And I wholeheartedly agree with that because you could be the smartest person in the world, but I'll tell you, if you don't live life, if you don't have life experience, you're nothing. You're nothing. Yeah. And because Matt Damon's character obviously has issues, and it just when Robin Williams explains it, because he has trust issues. That's why he treats his girlfriend like shit, because he has trust issues. Not that he treats her like shit, but like when he like just breaks up with her randomly, when he doesn't want to move away with her to California at first. It's just
then like she forces him to talk about his problems, and then when he finally says it, it's like he freaks out and he just like leaves.
Because, yeah, I mean, because you really feel for the character because you know he was adopted, and I mean I know usually people that are adopted, they have trust issues because the first, like Robin Williams says, the first people that ever loved him gave up on him. Mm-hmm. And you know that's the truth. And just how it ends is just so amazing. And I really love Ben Affleck and Casey. This is probably Casey Affleck's so hilarious in this.
Yeah, Casey Affleck is great in this movie too.
Yeah. It's very different than a lot of his other roles, you know?
Yeah.
But you know, there's so many great moments, great scenes. I can honestly talk about this movie for hours. But yeah, Good Will Hunting's my favorite. Not only my favorite Matt Damon film, it is probably one of my favorite films of all time. I love this film.
Do you think it should have won Best Picture over Titanic?
Okay, as good as Titanic was, Good Will Hunting, I think is the better movie. It's more rewatchable. It's just a better movie.
I'm on the same boat as you. So
yeah,
and thank God Robin Williams won the Oscar for this because his role, it's probably one of my favorite performances of all time. And I love this film.
Yeah, arguably his best. Arguably, it's his absolute.
I mean, personally, I like it the best. It's my favorite.
Yeah,
and that's it. Because honestly, like I said, Robin Williams is one of my favorite actors. He's probably top 5 for me.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah,
John Wick on the live chat says this, and he's right. Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer better not spoof The Departed, Saving Private Ryan, or Schindler's List. Okay, I got a better one. They better not make another movie ever again because they suck ass.
Exactly.
God, I don't even acknowledge their movies anymore. They have like they made a movie called The Starving Game. I didn't even watch it because I just don't want any more of their shit.
Listen, I don't know. Did they make an epic movie?
Yeah, Epic Movie, Meet the Spartans, Disaster Movie, those movies that are atrocious.
Okay, listen, I will say this. I know I've said this maybe at least once, maybe twice, but I will never, and I mean never, forgive my 5th grade class for voting this the best fucking movie.
Oh my God.
Of that year. I forget what year I was in 5th grade. What, like 2006? Hold on. I got to look up what epic movie came out. Because
no, it was 2006. It was 2006.
2006? All right. I will not forgive them for voting this movie the best movie of that year because, honestly, it's awful.
I'm sorry. I lied. It's 2007.
Okay, still. Yeah. All right. Like, No Country for Old Men. I mean, obviously, we're in the 5th grade. Why should we be watching No Country for Old Men?
I mean, I fucking
let's be
came out.
But honestly, there's a lot of movies that I watched when I was younger that I should not have watched. I mean, I watched Scream when I was 3, for God's sakes. Like, who in their right mind would watch Scream when they're 3? It fucking traumatized me for life.
Yeah, but well, John Wick, those two guys should never. Oh, C.A. Cougar nailed it on the head. Epic movie is an abortion of cinema. Yep, and they are both an abortion of cinema. So.
Listen, and then Meet the Spartans. I was honestly.
Oh my.
I don't know why. But they were like, "Oh, you gotta watch this movie. It's so fucking hilarious." And I go to watch it, and within like the first 5 minutes, I go, "What the fuck is this shit?" And I turned it off. And I go, "No, never again."
Yeah, I watched the whole thing, and I can't even describe how bad that was. But anyway, we can talk about the worst Matt Damon movie, and I can guarantee you, my least favorite Matt Damon movie is not as bad as Jason fucking fuckface and Aaron Seaman, like John Wick says is. So
okay, there are bad movies, and then there are abominations.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, we can talk about our least favorite. Do you guys have? I don't have any dishonorable mentions, but do you guys have any?
I don't think so,
No.
really. I'm gonna be honest. I really haven't seen too many like bad movies from Matt Damon. Matt Damon really hasn't made too many that I have seen, at least.
Same here.
All right. So I'll just say my least favorite. I don't hate this movie per se, but I don't think it's good. The Great Wall.
That's my
Same
least
here.
favorite as
Yeah,
well.
it is also my least favorite. Matt
Well, that
Damon
came out
movie.
this year, as you guys know. It's not going to be in my top 10 worst movies of 2017, but it's not very good.
It's not good.
It's
Yeah.
not even mediocre. It's not even okay. It's just
CGI isn't
not
very
good.
good. Isn't it the most expensive movie made by
Made in China, yes.
China? Yeah. Well,
I still think one of the funniest jokes at the Oscars last year was when Jimmy Kimmel was talking. And he's like, Matt Damon's such a great guy. Letting his childhood friend, Casey Affleck, letting him, instead of taking an Oscar caliber role, he gave it to his childhood friend, Casey Affleck, so he can go film a shitty ass fucking movie about China.
yeah. But the movie, honestly, it's just so forgettable and bland and dull, and it's just the action scenes were not that great. The story was cliched. The jokes didn't really. Some jokes were like I chuckled in some parts, but then some of the other attempts at humor were just kind of cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I don't think
it was really boring.
Movie. It's not a garbage movie, but it's just.
It's not good.
Yeah, exactly. Like I forgot about it like 2 days after I saw it.
It is very, very, very forgettable.
Yeah. So I mean that's all. I really don't have anything else to say.
I really don't either. You practically just said everything I was gonna say. It's a forgettable movie.
Yeah. You have anything to say about that, Andrew? Because I really don't got anything to contribute.
I mean, the visuals are pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And it was just boring. It's just like you guys said, it's forgettable. Not the worst thing in the world. It's definitely not one of the worst films of the year, but
Yeah.
I probably give it. I mean, I don't know, probably like a 2 out of 5, maybe.
Yeah, that's like what I would give it, like 2 out of 5, to be honest.
Yeah, like 2 out of 5. Yeah, 2 out of 5.
All right, so I mean, we didn't really have anything to say about this particular movie because it's the Great Wall. So, all right, well, I think that's it.
That's it. That's the podcast.
Yeah, but
oh shit!
I want to thank you guys. I want to thank those in the live chat as well. And yeah, so in terms of my YouTube channel, I announced this last week, but I'll just say it again. This Thursday will be the first podcast, and these two gentlemen will be my co-hosts for that podcast. It'll be a weekly podcast every Thursday, and it won't be just about movies. It'll be about video games, music, movies, television shows, entertainment. It's an entertainment podcast, and
yes,
we'll be covering, what's new. We can talk about movies. We can do movie reviews as well, and talk about like movie news and review TV shows we've seen, stuff like that. So, and music. I know Double Nine has like a lot of topics.
I got a lot of topics. A lot of shit has gone down the music world recently.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to the podcast. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I still do not have a name for it. We will have a name before Thursday. So
will we?
It'll be every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And now if it'll be on Thanksgiving, I don't know, because Thanksgiving is always on Thursday. But
trust me, I can't stand my family, so I'll be well home before 8.
I don't even know if I can even do that date. Well, I mean, we'll worry about that when that time comes.
When that time comes, we'll worry about it.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m. we'll be doing movies, TV shows, video games, and what else did I say? Music,
yes.
Honestly, but by Thanksgiving, I'd be moved out of my house, so I'll be living on my own. So
okay.
Thank God for that.
All right, that sounds good. But yeah, yeah, it should be a lot of fun. You know, it's going to be a good podcast, I think.
Yes.
A great podcast. I have some topics I'm excited to share for this Thursday.
Yeah, I have a lot of TV shows to talk about, and I'm not a big TV guy, but I do have quite a few TV shows to talk about.
Yeah, and just one more thing. Wow, I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but yeah, it'll be this Thursday, 8:00. Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Next week there'll be a top 5 trilogies podcast, which Double Nine will be on again because he requested to be on that. And
wait, shit! Sometimes I forget that I request to be on some of these.
Yeah, and
Double Nine will be on next week's podcast. This is a surprise to all of us, including him.
Yes, let's go.
And Nate might be on here. I know he said in the summer he wants to be on it, but I'll ask him just to verify if he can still be on it. If not, I can probably find a replacement, or just have it be us 3.
Nobody can replace the awesomeness of Nate except for me.
Yes.
All right then. So we'll just see, or if anything, I might just have us 3. I don't know, unless anyone on the live chat would like to join the Trilogies podcast. I can only have one more person though, because I usually do like 4. So yeah, it'll be top 5. And
why not have your brother? Because I like the idea of having the raid be on one of the best trilogies.
Movies in the raid. There's only 2. For God's sake.
You're saying well, fine.
But yeah. But after that, I'm gonna take like a week or 2 off because honestly, with college, it's really hard for me to watch like movies of an actor that I haven't seen before because so much time. So.
And especially you're going to be doing another podcast now.
Yeah, so like I'll take a little hiatus after the trilogies in terms of the top 5. I mean, not a very long one at all, just so I can get caught up with all my work. But I won't be like gone because we'll still be doing every Thursday a podcast.
Yeah, we'll be on the podcast.
The podcast with no name.
So probably like 2 weeks or something off from the top 5, maybe 3.
Yeah.
I'd like to do 2. Then like when we come back, I'll think of something. So. That's pretty much the announcement. So, you guys have anything you guys want to say?
Well, all I got to say is Scotty doesn't know, and I will see you all later. Peace.
All right. And, yeah, we will see you on Thursday.
Thursday, baby.
All right. And, Andrew?
I mean, nothing really. I mean, the same usual. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm almost at 50. I'm like 3 away. So, 50, it's not that much, but it's still something. Well, I mean, I'm proud of what I've done so far, but 50 is what I want. I'm only 3 away. So, please make that happen.
Subscribe to Andrew and subscribe to Double Nine. So, yeah. So, with that being said, once again, thank you guys. Thank you guys in the live chat. I'm seeing a lot of thank you, MC Deadpool and Nick Canino, saying it was a great podcast. Glad you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, guys, I'll see you guys this Thursday for the new podcast with no name so far. So
the No Name Podcast.
Until then, see you guys later and stay classy.